So in this session, we're gonna learn client lib. So first of all, client lib it's introduced to manage the JS and the CSS files. Now consider we already knows that JS where we will write. Sorry, just 1 minute. Print no. Okay. So consider now we have a HTML. Okay, components we have for making one website. What we need? We need a HTML. We need a CSS. We need a JavaScript, and we need some assets. You can say it's a resources. Okay, or you can say it's a logo or something like that. Logo or anything. Okay, after that, anything? We will not need anything, no? So asset that means the images and the logo if you want it, you can just type here. That is resources and this asset is a different thing. That's okay. Okay, that's it now. Now we know that in the AEM, HTML will write inside the components, right? Inside the components only will write. And after that, if you want to define the CSS and the JS part, we'll define somewhere and we'll call inside this component. That means we'll call inside this HTML, right? Okay, but we'll use a traditional way. Traditional way that means just simply we'll use a head tag, and inside this head tag we'll define the script otherwise style like that only. No, in the HTML will use. Okay, so whenever we'll use a HTML, so inside this HTML we'll use a head, right? Yeah, this is the head we have uses, and if you want to, this is the HTML, and inside this HTML, if you want to inject or embed or add CSS or the JS file, then we have to use this script tag for the JS, and this is the link tag for the CSS. Okay, so these are the things we have to use, but in the traditional way, we have a drawback. Okay, this is the way we have a drawback. That's why we have introduced the concept of client libs. That's it. Okay, so basically it is used to manage the CSS and the JS and required resources, maybe of front ends or the images. Okay, so here CSS client libs, and after that what we have? We have a JS as well. So this, yeah. So this CSS and the JS will manage inside the client libs only. Or resources if you want, you can manage inside the client libs. We have a assets as well. That means asset is also known as a DAM, and all types of resources will insert inside this DAMs only. Okay, wherever you want, you can simply drag and drop it. This option is everywhere. Okay, this is the thing. Now, how we can create a client libs? We already knows that for managing the CSS and the JS, we are using a client libs, right? Now, how we can create? So basically, it's a node. Basically, it's a node in the CRXD. Everything in the form of node only. Okay. So here we have to create a CQ client library folder. This is the type of your client libs. Whenever you want to create a client libs, you have to use these types. After that, here we have a js.txt and css.txt. These are the crucial file if you want to execute your JS, or if you want to execute your CSS, then you need a js.txt, and for the CSS you need a css.txt. Now I'll let you know, for in your CRXD or in your AEM, everything is executed by the Sling. Okay, and if you want to execute the JS and the CSS, for that your Sling directly come inside this js.txt for the JS and css.txt for CSS. Okay, so basically, first of all, your Sling will come inside this, and it will see how much entry we have, or you have written the entry or not. If consider I have a sample.js now, sample.js or the index.js, two files I have. What I said, index.js consider, and sample.js I have. Okay, these are the two files I have. Okay, and js.txt you have. This is the file you have. If you are writing the entries like index.js and the sample.js, okay, then only it will call to this index.js and execute, and then only it will call this sample.js and execute it. Okay, otherwise it won't. So you are basically your Sling, it has coming here and it has starting execution. So whatever you have mentioned at the first, it will execute first. Okay, and whatever you are mentioning at the last, it will execute at the last. Okay, now we'll try to create it. Okay, how we can create? Just come here. Here I have came. This is my folder. Inside that you will see automatically client library folder here. Here we have a lot of client libs. You can just simply right click, create, and you can simply create a node. I have already told you. And what is the type of that node? CQ client library folder. Yeah, give the name, give the name. So in this case, I am just simply giving client libs A, client libs A. So this one is our client libs. Okay. Now, what it does, it's manage the CSS and the JS. Okay, so I'm just creating a folder for the CSS. CSS, that's it. Save, right click over here, and I'm just writing JS. That's nice. But we know that. Now consider inside this JS, execute. How? Is that code execute? No. No. So what we have to write? Exactly. js.txt we have to define here. So js.txt, where I'm just defining this. Yeah, inside the client lives, not inside the JS. Okay, no. And for the CSS, if you want to execute, you have to define css.txt. Save the changes. That's it. Excellent. CSS we have css.txt, JS we have js.txt. So now here I'm just trying to write anything. Okay, this code I'm not executing, just simply writing. I'm here inside that I'm just storing a string. This is the way to define a variable in the JS. The first way. This is the second way. Let C constant you can define, and here we have a C. Mention it to something. Otherwise, you can mention 10. That's it. What I'm doing, console.log, and inside this log, I'm just simply printing A. That's simply I'm just printing A only. Same code I'm copying. Copy sample.js, paste it, and in this case, I'm just printing B. Okay. So this is the code I have added now. Now here you see, here we have one drawback. Whenever we'll use a traditional way, so we have one drawback, that is number of requests to serve. Okay, number of requests we have to send. Like consider this is a traditional way I have, and inside that, in this case, what we have defined link tag, and the this is the style CSS, and this one is a JavaScript. Now we have 1,000 files, so 1,000 times you have to define this. 1,000 CSS and the JS we have, you have to define these tags 1,000 times, and this is the drawback. And every time you have to, if your index.js it has loading, so this is under the index.js only. So if consider it as loading, so it will send the request to this particular path. Again, it will send the request to this second path. Just like this, it will send the request to the thousand file. It will send these types of requests. Okay, so this drawback it has already out overcome by this client libs. Now you can just copy this. Just simply copy. Come here and just simply try to hit localhost 4502 and hit the enter. Now you will get the forbidden error or something like that, 404 not found. Now you can just simply define here JS. Okay, nothing it has coming. Why? See, it's not see this one, this code is right now, but it's not executing anything. Why? Because directly your client, that means your sling, where it will goes inside the js.txt, but it will find nothing. It's finding nothing, so that's why it's not executing. Okay, so now you have to mention which file you want to execute, index.js and sample.js, right? Now you can go there and refresh it. Once you have refreshed, again you have seen nothing. Why? Now this is the sample and the index.js where it has present inside the JS. So you have to mention the JS here. Save the changes. Now come here. Now try to refresh it. Now you will get it. See, only one request we have sent. We have sent only one request now. See, we are getting all the outputs. So whatever the files we have. Now there is no need to define these files inside your HTML. Okay, this is the first thing. Second thing, what it is saying? Okay, dependency management we have to take care manually. Like consider here I have a two files. Okay, so basically here we have a index.js and sample.js. Okay, and inside that here I'm uses let a is equals to 10 I'm using. Okay, now inside this sample, see where I have defined this int let a is equals to 10 inside this index.js. Now this is the a, simply console.log, and here this is the a I'm just printing. Now this is the a where I'm using inside this sample.js. That means we can say this is the sample.js is dependent on this index.js. Why? Because this is the a we have and this is the a we haven't defined directly, we are using inside this sample.js. That means this is the sample.js is dependent on this index.js. So for that, make sure that whenever you use the traditional way, so this one needs to be load before your sample.js. This one, this index.js needs to be load before your sample.js. But in this case, in our client libs, we have one property that is dependencies. Just simply, this is the property you have to define, and it should be a multi. So how we can define like this property we have, that is dependencies. Okay, and after that it should be a string and multi. Maybe you have more than one client libs, and here you have to define the client name. That's it. So what is your client name? In this case, consider index.js. So this is not a client lib. Okay, this is a Java file. This is a JS file. This should be stored somewhere. This one is your client name. Yeah, you have to define here. Okay. Now how we can find out the client name? This is the client library name. How we can find? This is the JS file. Okay, and this one is your JS folder. Okay, so how we can define the name of the JavaScript? So if you, sorry, name of your client libs. If you want to define, then you have to use categories. Okay, this is nothing but your identifier for your client libs, and it should be a multi. It should be a multi. Just delete this multi. Just define multi, and after that you can name it. So in this case, I'm just writing desktop A and hit enter. See, desktop A I'm just defining, and just simply that's it. Save the changes. It should be a multi. Okay, now it should be a multi. You have to click here for this. Now that's done. That is done. Now we have already knows that. Now consider I have another client libs. Now create another client libs inside this client library folder. What is the name of what is the type? CQ client library folder. Okay, and here you can just define desktop B. Hit enter. Now desktop B we have defined the same process. We have to create a JS folder, and after that we have to create CS folder, CSS. And after that, for executing the JS and the CSS, what we need? Files. Which one? JS.txt, and make sure that you don't have to create inside this JS and the CSS. You have to create, yeah, inside the client libs, css.txt. That's nice. We have created. That's nice. After that, we have to define the code something here. Right click over here and just simply define the code. Index b.js. Same code. Some what you can paste it anything. Alert, alert box. I'm printing. That's nice. Done. Okay. So now consider. Okay, consider this is the desktop B I have. Okay, so we don't have any name for this desktop B, so we have to define the category. And after that, here you can just define desktop B. We have defined the desktop A now. Here we need to define desktop B and add simply desktop B. That's it. Save the changes. Save it. That means we have created. Now this is your desktop B. Now here you can simply use no uh, desktop. Okay, otherwise you can simply use let directly you can print the console.log, and here what you are doing, you are printing the A. Okay, now you also knows that uh, this is A, we haven't defined here. So where is that A present? So it has present inside your index.a. Okay, index.js. And where is that index.js? Inside your client library A. And what is the name of your client library? Desktop A, right? So simply now you can use the dependencies property here. Just simply clear. And now we know that this is the client library. It has dependent on your client library A. So you can simply use here dependencies. But before that, I'm not using now dependency. Before that, we'll see how to call. We have a lot of ways to call our client library. If you want to call a component level, if you want to call as a component level, you can simply use some code. We have code. This is the code we have. This is the code we have. You can simply use this is the predefined code. Here, just simply here you have to define the name of your client library. Here inside this you have to define the name of your client library. And if you want to load everything, so basically here I have all. If you want CSS, you can just simply type here CSS. If you want the JS, you can here type JS. But in this case, I need CSS and JS. So that's why I have defined here all. That's it. And the name of your client library. So which one I need to pick up now? Client library A, and this is the name of desktop A. So you can define this desktop A. Okay, and you can simply wherever you want, if you can create a component and simply call there. Once you will call, you will get this. You will get this client library. Okay, but I'm not using this way. We have another way. See, this is simple. It's very simple. Where is your component? This is your component, and after that here I have a component. You can go anywhere. Basically, you will see the hello world component and just go inside that and simply paste this one. Which one? No? This one, right? Copy and simply come here, and at the down or anywhere you can paste it. That's it. We have called the client library here. Okay, but second way, here you can come and directly you can call the client library as a page level. Okay, this is my page. Click here, and after that here we have options of the editable template. We have already discussed. It will open the editable template. Yeah, it has opened. And here we have a page level policy. So this one is a page level, and when you will click here inside this container, and here this one is a, yeah, but what, this is the component level, no, container level. So this is container is nothing but your component. When you will click here, so this component level policy will open, so you will see the groups and everything inside this, right? But we don't need component, we need a page level. We have to load, no. See, and here we have options of the client libs. You can simply add your own client libs. What's your client library name? What is your client library name, buddies? Desktop A we have, and desktop B also we have. Okay, this is the desktop A. Yeah, so here this is the desktop A I'm just adding. So just simply copy this one, go there, and just simply paste it here. That's it. Now add. We have added, right? Come here and try to wait for this. Okay, now that's done. Now refresh it. Okay, so inside this client library, you only knows that what we have inside this client library, what we have a index.js and we have a sample.js. But before that, this is the client library A. Okay, here we have a CSS and here we have a JS. Now just come here. Right now I'm in the preview mode. Okay, it has loaded or not. We have to check, no. So you will see here view page source. So code I'm just opening. Here I'm just opening the code, and now you can just simply select your client library. You can search your client library. What's our client library? Isn't load? Are you seeing somewhere desktop or something? Nothing, huh? Okay, we'll refresh once. We have to check we have added or not. Click here and go inside the policies. Okay, this is the policy. Is that it has depend on something. Okay, so we'll instead of that we have to define here desktop B, right? Hmm? Now you can share only will got it. No? A I got it. Desktop B also I got view as a page source also I open it. It's not there. Client libs A is there, no? So we have created the client libs A only, no? Client libs A and client libs B. So desktop B. Oh, we are trying desktop. What we are trying? Like desktop A. And we haven't named it like a desktop A. We have defined something different. Okay, so what? Client libs. That's okay, but we have a client libs A here. That's okay. Here we have no. That's done. Okay, so basically this is the client library A we have. Okay, so just double click on it and check is that client library contains our code. It's not containing client library A. So CSS we haven't defined it, no. We have to check the JSS. So is there any JSS client library A.js? It's not possible. It will load. What is that? Client libs client capital. Okay, just we'll search like this. Client libs is there, but it's not JS. CSS is there, JS is not there. Why? Yeah, here we have a JS as well. Just double click it. Now see inside that we have a code. Then that means this one is our own client libs, right? This one is our client lib, no? Now that means we can say this one is our client libs A, where it is now. Okay, so we have a client libs A. Just again we have to search once down, no? Okay, this is the client libs. Okay, but before that what we need a client lib B as well. Okay, because our client lib B is dependent on the client libs A. Okay, so we need a sorry we'll consider like this is the client library A is dependent on this client library B. So inside that we'll just simply have to write dependencies. Now this is the B I need inside this A. So here I have defined as a multi, and what's the name of our client library? Desktop B.
right? Desktop B. Hit the enter. Now this one is our client library. Now save it. Come here and now try to refresh. Now here you see inside this, here we have a client library A, and after that what we have? We have this client live site something. Now you can refresh. Before itself it will load. See here. Now client library A have we have, and before this what we have? Desktop B. Before that only we have a desktop B. That means this is the client library. It has dependent on this client library B. So you can simply use this dependencies. You can simply use this dependencies. After that we have a embed as well. We have one property that is embed. What does it mean by the embed now? But before that we'll see the allow proxy. Allow proxy. So this is the allow proxy. It accepts the boolean. Okay, and you can just simply define here true. Now come here. Okay. Now see, everything wherever you will go now, you will see this etc. Okay, and one dispatcher is there. So basically, dispatcher is one types of module that is used for the security purpose. That means inside these apps, we already knows that all our components we have a project, we have a client, everything it has stored inside this apps only. Okay, and we should not be start the path with these apps. We should have to start with this etc or something. Okay, something different, but not with these apps. So you can simply use the allow proxy for it. Here you can use the allow proxy boolean and the true. It's not a multi. You can add, save the changes. What is this? Where I have uses in the client libs A. Now you can come here. Where is the client libs A? Now it has starting with this app. Now you can refresh. You will see the etc there. Yeah, here you see, you are seeing here etc. But see, wherever your dispatcher sees whenever your dispatcher sees these things, it is starting from the apps, then it will block. Then you guys thinking like why it's not stopped now? Because I don't have a dispatcher. I haven't set up the dispatcher. Once I have, then it will block this request. It will block this request. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, the same thing for this one as well. Desktop B, just go there. Desktop B, and just define here allow proxy boolean and true. Save the changes. Come here and refresh it. Now you will see the etc. That's it. We got the etc now. After that, that is nice. Now we'll see the embed. Here we have another that is embed. Now what I want, I don't want to load this one. See, in this case what it is doing happening. So we have a client libs A, and after that this client library, that means this desktop B also I have. Now I don't want to load this one directly. I want to include inside this client libs A. How I can do that things? You can simply come here inside this client libs A and use here embed. Embed you can use. This is the property. Basically what it is doing, it will directly include your client library B inside this client library A, in where you are using this property in the current client library. So in that current client library, whatever destination you are mentioning, so it will use string and the name of your client library. What is the name? Desktop B. So desktop B and hit enter. Embed string, it should be a multi. It's not a multi. This is not a good thing. You have to delete. Embed string, click on this multi, and what's our client name? Desktop B, right? Yeah, that's nice. Now you can come here and refresh it. Come here and refresh. In this case, you want to see this desktop B. Why? Because we have, by using the embed property, we have included the desktop B inside this client libs A. Now just try to open from here. What we have added there basically? Desktop B, we haven't added anything. Okay, so here we haven't added anything. So this is the basically this is the desktop b.js we have to add. So how we can add it? JS slash. Okay, now consider maybe maybe now in this case inside this JS folder how many client libs how many files I have? Only one. If you have 100 files, then every time you have to define the JS slash and this index b.js. This is not a good thing. Instead of that, you can make it this common. This is the folder, you can make it as a common. So you can define hash base and the JS. That means we are saying all this file it has present inside this JS folder only. Okay, now you can just define index b.js, index b.js, and save the changes. Come here and try to refresh it. Double click here now, open it. Are we not seeing no anything? Okay, that's okay. Come here. Where is our client lives? Desktop A is our client lives. Okay, right? Just copy this one. Localhost 4502 and paste it. And after that, here you can mention JS. Hit enter. Now see here. So basically, it has loading before our current client library. See, so this is coming from the desktop B. So this is the client library. It has loading uh, before our current client library. So this is the thing. And after that, that is nice. So we have done everything. So basically we have a two ways to call our client library. We have call as a page level and we have call as a component level as well. So if you want, you can create the client library as a global level. So this is nothing but the global level. See inside this project, I have a client libs and here I have a component. So you can create here, this is nothing but the global level client library. And when you will create as a component level, that means inside this component you are creating, right click and create the node and with this type. So that means this is the component level client libs. Okay, both work same. If you want to call any client library, we have a two ways, page level and the component level. So by using a component, you have to use this. This is the code you have to use. This is the code and you have to mention your client library name, which client library you want to load. And they have provided some extra information as well. Just come here, hit enter. Not this, just open one path, that is localhost 4502 system console bundle. Don't confuse in that. Okay, here what I have opened it, localhost 4502 system console bundle. So this is nothing but your backend part. This is what your backend part. Here we have OSGi. Inside this OSGi you will see the configuration. So these are nothing but the configurations. Okay, and predefined things they have. That means if you want to pass any data dynamically, so they will create a configuration and inside that they will pass. So just simply for the client library as well, they have passed something. Okay, for the client library they have created some settings we have to follow. That is Adobe Granite HTML. See, Adobe Granite HTML we have, and inside that we have a lot of settings. Okay, minify, that means now consider, now your file. Okay, so your file size is 1 MB. 1 MB is a lot. Okay, and it has containing a lot of white spaces. Because of that reason only your size will be a 1 MB. Now you want to reduce it, you want to remove that all the white spaces, so you can simply click on this minify. So once you will click on this minify, all your JS file will convert into a min and it will remove all the white workspace. So now consider this is your index.js. So how it will be? Index.main.js. It will convert into this index.main.js. Okay, after that here we have a zip, zip we have. Okay, so it will compress your files. Okay, your file will compress, that means a request will send in the form of this zip only. Okay, and you will get the response in the form of zip only. That means this is the CSS and the JS file will compress in the form of this zip, and after that you will get the output in the form of this only. Got it? Got it. And here we have a max age. So this is nothing but the max age. So here we have mentioned the -1. So if you are mentioning here 30 seconds, that means you will get the response, you will get the request and the response within the 30 seconds, and again it will start. Got it? Okay, Yeah, here we have a force CQ, okay, URL info. So basically inside this we have a lot of objects. Okay, so when you will click here right now, I'm just going inside this. Not, we have to open the page. Just like consider, I'm just opening this, right click, and here we have options of the inspect, and console will open. Inside this console, what's the name? Copy this. In this case we haven't loaded, okay, we haven't loaded inside this. Okay, console we have, just simply paste it like this only, no? Info, CQRL info, CQRL info is there. In this case it's not coming anything. Hit the enter, you will get the error, like it's not defined. Okay, but when you will select this one, when you will select this one and just save it, so inside that, no, we have some object. If you want, you can use. Okay, predefined objects is object we have, and it's help us, okay, to write the code. So if you want, you can click here and hit that code, and you will get it later. After that, here we have a allow library path. Okay, so our basically library has stored in these three folders only, that is apps, libs, and the etc, and predefined it has stored it. This is the thing related to your, and that means this is the configuration. They have defined the code, backend code, they have defined it everything for this. Okay, and they have provided according to your need, you can use.